Hey, it's Pete Cann, the Laughter Man, and today's laughter interview is with Robert Rivest. Now, Robert Rivest is a magical man, a magical man. He combines the playfulness of mime and qigong and laughter yoga as that's his whole spiritual vibe, and it's amazing. And I have such a great interview with him, just working out where he discovered laughter yoga, how it came into his life, how he intertwined, like, my I keep doing that when I do mime, don't I? How he intertwined the mime with the laughter yoga and the qigong into his practice, and that's his groove basically. So I hope you enjoy it. Remember, if you enjoy these interviews, then don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, because there'll be plenty of other interviews similar to this as I start chatting to more laughter yogis and laughter doctors and practitioners, just to just let you know what the benefits of laughter are, just to give you that insight into laughter yoga and laughter for our body and our wellness. So anyway, on with the episode today, and I will hopefully, well, I will, no, you will, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Hey guys, so today I am very, you're going to get three verys, Robert, here. That's four actually. Honored to have Robert Rivest, who is an internationally admired performer and teacher. In addition to being a renowned comic mime artist, he is also an accomplished health, literacy, and stress relief educator, a gifted mindfulness teacher, a certified laughter yoga master, trainer, and an engaging public speaker. Since 1990, Robert Rivest has given over 8,000 presentations in Europe, Asia, Africa, and across the US. His mission is to use mindfulness, laughter, and the performing arts to bring greater health and happiness to individuals and organizations around the world.
Wow.
I said I did put my teeth in, didn't I?
It's like, wow. Yeah.
How are you today?
I'm really great. It's a good day. I'm in Springfield, Massachusetts, USA. Sunny and warm here. Well, not warm.
So when you say warm, I mean how warm's warm?
Well, we have, let me see what the temperature, I don't have let me just check for you. We're in a day and age where you could just do that, right? But it's, well, 39 degrees here. I know we have a different system.
Yeah. I don't know what that means in Celsius, to be fair. So
Let's say it's about 7 degrees warmer than freezing.
that's about where we are. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and the sunshine really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Which is what we're going to talk about today, right? Bringing in sunshine into our lives, the light and joy. And
Definitely. Right, I'm going to take my bins off now, because I can sort of read what I'm trying to be asking the questions, but I don't even need to ask questions, because Robert, you came onto my radar basically. I discovered laughter yoga in 2016, and as soon as I discovered it, I wanted to consume more of it. And you're all over YouTube. Your stuff is everywhere. And if you haven't seen any of Robert's stuff, you need to go and watch it, because it is highly engaging and just beautiful, mesmerizing, and funny as well. And I just tell us your backstory, Robert. Tell us where you've come from and how you got into laughter yoga.
You know, it's interesting with what you say, and I'll probably bounce around my backstory. Because I felt the same way when I first discovered laughter yoga, or laughter yoga discovered me. That sounds very John Lennon. John Lennon liked to reverse things, twist things around. So I'm a performing artist. I studied mime in Paris, France with Marcel Marceau. I trained in acting and dance and improvisation in New York City, and had been doing thousands of shows when a friend of mine said, there's a husband and wife friend of mine who just got trained in something, and they want to use our group as guinea pigs. Our group meaning our performing arts guild. Once a month we get together exchange ideas, check in on each other. And he said, yeah, they'd like to come and use us as guinea pigs for this thing they've just been certified in, laughter yoga. And we're all like, yeah, okay, whatever, bring them in. And so they came in, they did a laughter yoga session with us. And there were parts of it that I absolutely loved right away. Other parts, I'll have to admit that I was probably being the entertainer, that, the goofy guy, like, yeah, let's do this. I have to admit that I probably didn't quite get it or understand it. But I, too, went home and absorbed everything that I could. I went online and learned about laughter yoga and bought every book and CD back then and DVD that I could get on laughter yoga, absorbed it, started using it right away, started calling friends and just laughing with them. I have set up several friends that we just call and laugh. We don't even say, how you doing? It's just, I was doing about 180 shows a year at that time, programs for schools. And at the end of each one of them, this was before I was even certified, I did a little laughter yoga. I wouldn't say what it was, but I just incorporate laughter yoga within the ending of it. So I was doing 180 sessions a year, 15 minutes at the end of my program with 200 or 300 students in large assembly halls. And then I got certified. I took my 2-day training, which led to a 5-day training, first with Jeffrey Breyer, and then with Madan Kataria, and then on to becoming a master trainer. And if I may continue just for a little while longer,
please do.
That what happened with me, the feeling, you and I were talking earlier, that you felt so good you wanted to share it. You have the need to share it. And that was true for me. So what happened at about the time that I was being certified in laughter yoga, my sister said, hey, there's something called Facebook. You would really love it. All of our friends are on there. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so that took me a few months. I got on Facebook. Then I learned about YouTube. A friend of mine set me up. Here's how to do YouTube. And I did my first, I think I did a few mime YouTube videos. And then I did my first laughter yoga video, which really kind of took off. People really liked it, which of course motivates you to do more, right?
Exactly. It's when you start getting the comments, the likes, and also you just know that people are just enjoying it, and they're getting that feeling that you had when you first had that, and we still get that feeling. We do.
Yes, that's the good part about it, isn't it? That I talk with people about that. No matter how I feel before I do laughter yoga, no matter what, just been through a difficult conversation, stuck in traffic for hours, whatever, don't feel well physically, mentally, afterwards, I always feel almost exactly the same. I feel more energized, I feel alert, awake, I feel calm and peaceful, no matter what I came in with. So
it is. It's like a magic pill. That's the way I likened it. It's and I'm the same, Robert. There's times where, because I laugh every day for 10 minutes in the morning. There's a little group of us that do the daily giggle channel, we call it. And there's mornings where I'm just literally dragging it at myself along and just going, oh, do I need to do that? Okay, let's do it. And then I come out of the office door like, hey, right, morning, right, what are we doing? And just like, it massively just lifts your mood, and it just, and the question I like to ask people is like, why would you not want to feel like this?
Yeah, right.
It's it's a magical thing.
That's the age-old question, right? Because I've been thinking about that in terms of many different things, like especially during the pandemic. There are things that I know that will make me feel healthier, clearer, brighter, not only laughter yoga, but getting to sleep a little earlier, a little less time on the screen, eating a little healthier foods. But somehow, some part of us thinks, oh, it'd be so much fun just to sit here. Oh, it'd be fun to hit the snooze. And you're like, no, but you feel better. You're much clearer if you just get up. Get up.
It's so true. It's I listened to a podcast, audio, a guy called Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you're aware of a guy called Zig Ziglar.
Familiar with
really, really great guy to listen to. But it's like people call it an alarm clock, And an alarm is not a positive thought. If the fire alarm goes off, that's not a good sign. But if you call
Right.
it an opportunity clock,
There
every
you go.
day, when you wake up, if you wake up, it's a good day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And when you just said that right now, it reminded me, I do back when we could do it, and in the future I'll be doing it again. I was doing once a month with a group of assisted living and independent living in a senior community, right? In a retirement community, people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and other issues, Parkinson's. And a 102-year-old gentleman took my class. And at the end, I said, "How you doing?" He said, "I got up this morning. I'm alive. What more do I need?" And he just said it with a smile, and like he believed it. It's not something someone told him to say. I mean, and I don't know if you're familiar with Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, a poet, beautiful, mindful verses. And some of them are this: waking up this morning, I smile. And so in the morning, that's what I do. When I wake up in the morning, I say that: waking up this morning, I smile, and I start my smile. He goes on to say, waking up this morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live fully in each moment and to look at all beings with the eyes of compassion. I mean, he goes on. There was a time in my life when I was studying mindfulness meditation, Buddhism, Taoism, as well as Tai Chi and later Qigong. And I put his words to a Tai Chi form. And I taught that for many years. And I still do that practice today. But this is one of the things I wanted to talk about today: how we wake up in the morning, setting aside just a little bit of time for either, the practice of just saying, waking up this morning, I smile, tuning into your breathing, actually having a practice of breathing exercises or pranayama. And then for me, I do laughter yoga after. I know Dr. Kataria does his laughter first, but my system doesn't like that. My system says, no, man, I need to wake up a little more. Let's just smile, breathe. There are certain exercises that I do in the morning and visualizations that I do in the morning. And then I do the laughter when my system's a little more awake. How about you?
So my morning ritual, I wake up and I will down a pint of water straight out. And then I come down and I journal, and then I meditate, I affirmate, I read, I do a bit of yoga, just a bit of stretching. Well, I'm training for a marathon at the moment, so I'm doing a lot of running. Yeah. So, if you would have seen me 4 years ago, you'd be like, different person. Like, I was a lot bigger, basically. And the running's really helped that massively. And then I've been up for like 2.5 hours before we get to the laughter moment. So
Right.
by that time I'm fired up anyway. And the laughter's just that little bit of icing on the cake, so.
Oh, sure is. It's really amazing how that laughter works. As the icing on the cake, because I was mentioning that I studied mindfulness meditation to the point where I was almost like a monk, meaning I would do several hours of meditation, standing, walking, sitting meditation, mindful eating, reading. I would read and, rewrite everything that I thought was important. A real student of mindfulness, and then the Tai Chi and Qigong. And these things helped me with a lot of stress-related illnesses that I had, and also PTSD. But they didn't help me entirely. When I started to do laughter yoga, it helped me tremendously. When I went to hotels, I used to put the furniture in front of the door just to feel safe.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in a 5-day training that I was taking, I noticed laughter yoga. I noticed I didn't need to put anything in front of the door. That was and as much as I can transform my mood with breathing, which I really can. There are different breathing exercises for energy levels and this. Man, they're laughing. Just does it.
It's definitely. So how long have you been doing laughter yoga for? I don't know if I clocked that at the beginning.
10 years.
10 years. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then, so, I mean, are there moments throughout those 10 years that you've sort of clocked in, like you said about the furniture, putting, you don't do that anymore. So that's obviously something you've noticed. Is there any other times where laughter's really helped you cope with anything?
Yeah, well, the main thing that it's helped me with, because I used to have a little bit of an attitude coming into my performances. I don't know if it was an attitude, just a hyper focus. Uh, what I mean by that is, it's funny. I had a technician come to fix something in the basement, right? Now, my father was an engineer, a design analyst, right? There's a certain type of way of thinking. And so the guy comes in, I'm talking to him, and as soon as he looks at the machine that he's going to fix, his mind gets right into like analytical mode and this and that, and almost non-human interactive mode. And I was like that as a performer. I used to come in and like, so where's the space? Let me see the space. And I would come in and I would look at the space and say, do you have any better lighting than that? Or do the audience need to, what's with the pillar in the way? I seemed to notice the negatives because I think it was fear-based. I was worried that if the conditions weren't right, my material, my comic mime, which takes a lot of focus to watch, would not resonate. I would fail if the conditions weren't right. That's what I used to think. And then after laughter yoga, I've made several laughter CDs, mostly for myself. And so I'm listening to myself laugh in the car for 10 minutes before I get in there. Or 20 minutes. I have a whole CD about breathing and different things that I can do while I'm driving. And then I get there and I come in and here's the difference. I come in and say, hi, how you doing? And I'm looking them right in the eye and we're talking. And before you know it, they're telling me about their life. Oh yeah, I just went through a divorce and this and that. I mean, we're connecting as humans. And then I go, well, let's look at the space. Do those front lights come on? No, they don't work, that panel. Okay. How about the audience? Any way we can get it clearer? No, this is the only way we can do it. Okay. And then I tell them that I will shoot for the ideal, but go with what is.
Yeah.
And I think laughter yoga is what really helped make that transition. The mindfulness could have done it, but for some reason, it didn't quite get me there. But the laughing before, getting in a good mood, which is a good tip for you laughter yoga leaders and teachers out there. I went to do a laughter yoga gig, and they told me that the last guy who taught laughter yoga there came in all grouchy and irritable. And then finally, in the middle of laughter yoga, he was nice. You got to ramp up the nice before you get there, people. Your gig starts in the car.
I just can't visualize that. It's just like, I mean, the one, it's just like, why would you walk in just like whether it's just, what, is that the laughter yoga guy? Just like,
yeah. Good representative.
So it was interesting you mentioned that you listen to CDs of yourself laughing and you make yourself laugh by listening to your own laugh.
Yeah.
See, Chloe, my wife, right? She's just like, you love watching yourself laugh. It makes you laugh. I'm just like, it does. It makes me laugh. And
well, my daughters, I have twin daughters. They're 20 now. But they'll say the same thing. They're like, you're the only one I know that watches your own videos. And I watch them quite often, and I'll tell you why. It takes too long to search for some good material on YouTube sometimes. It's like, I really want to feel this feeling. I know exactly how to do it. I made a video of that 3 weeks ago, and I'll play it. And I have a ton of YouTube videos, some that are just me laughing with people around the world. I have an hour of different clips, and I'll just have that on in the background as I'm doing the dishes, as I'm feeding the dogs. And I'm just laughing, and then I look, oh yeah, that was in Italy, da, da, da. Oh yeah, I remember that in Japan, cool.
Nice.
And it lifts my mood, and it's better than having to sift through a bunch of stuff.
Exactly. And it's just like, and if you can make yourself laugh, then that's a skill in itself, isn't it? It really is. It's so many people out there are so serious and just take life too seriously. That like you can't change what's happening, whether it's the pandemic or whether it's you're stuck in traffic or whether I don't know something you've lost anything. You cannot change that, but you can change your mind. And
Yeah.
I'm a massive believer of that. And don't get me wrong, Robert, there has been times where I've been low, especially through the pandemic. You know, like our business has got like massively suffered, but
Mm.
I've laughed through it, and there's been times where Chloe's just like, I'm glad you can laugh. I was like, well, what? I'd rather be laughing over here than just going realistically, just going, it's really bad. Like, what are we going to do? And it's because,
Yeah, why be stuck in that?
yeah, exactly. You don't want to be stuck in that box, do you?
Well, not at all. Well, you know, I was doing a group, Parkinson group, an interesting group, because we were in 4 different time zones within the U.S., from Alaska, you know, right through the West Coast, the middle of the country, East Coast, all the way to the northern Vermont, right? So there are people who showed up with Parkinson's, and I'm taking them through the material, and we're having a good time. It's a combination. It's not just the laughter yoga, my breathing exercises, some mime stuff, some Tai Chi. We're having a great time. And at the end, one guy, he almost felt guilty for having so much fun. And he said, well, I guess this is a positive during the pandemic. And I'm like, yeah, man, celebrate that. There's no matter what's going on, you know, you can find, I remember a long time ago, my grandmother died, and my nephew and I, and a few others were walking, I think from the cemetery to the church. It was a sunny, beautiful day. And my nephew goes, oh, it's a beautiful day. And then he goes, oh, but I shouldn't be thinking that because Graham died. And I said, you can experience both. You can be sad for Graham, miss your Graham, but you can also celebrate how beautiful this day is, and you can even celebrate your time with her. You know, I mean, there's ways of reframing without denying. I think everyone should feel the feelings that they're feeling without pushing down, squelching, minimizing, or, you know, denying what you're feeling. But why be stuck there
Yeah.
for 18 months, which will probably be what the whole length of the pandemic, right? Why be
Exactly. And you're like, and also like the way you just squelched it, and you know, there are people out there that have got that ball of negativity just sat in their chest, and you know, and it's harder. The tighter you squelch it, the harder it is to get that away. You know, to open that up, and it's just like, and it saddens me. It does, like when I see people, like I don't know, even in like the queue to pick the kids up at school, and you just see them, and they're just like, oh, it's just like, oh, like it's just, yeah.
Yeah, you see it, especially with kids, right? If they're feeling sad or blue, you see it in their body. They're like way down. And the opposite is true too. I mean, everything you see magnified with kids.
Yeah.
You used to more. Now it's like this on the
It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. And yeah, I think it's just, that's the way the world's gone, isn't it? I mean, my kids look at me. A lot of people ask, yeah, what do they think about daddy doing this, basically the laughter stuff. And I like it. I just say, well, at least I'm not a shouty daddy anymore. Basically,
Yeah, right.
You know, they know that I'm at like, and they know that actually I'm starting to make a living from this as well, which is brilliant. It's just like, what, you get paid to laugh? Yes, I get paid to laugh and bring laughter to people and make them feel amazing. It's just like, wow, well, yeah, I'm in my dream position. It's amazing.
You know, it really is a great job. I mean, I remember being at the bank. Well, 2 funny stories about the bank. If I space out on the second one, remind me that the second one was about, you know, person asking what I do with laughter yoga. But the first one, a long time ago, when I used to go to the bank with the checks for mime, right? You know, for performing in schools, I'd come in, you know, each week with all these different checks from the different schools that I've been to. And I'm there at the bank, and I'm giving her the checks, and she goes, oh, well, what do you do? I said, I'm a performer. What kind of performer? I'm a mime. Oh, I love mime, the bank teller says. And she goes, can you do the wall? I'm like, sure, here's how you do the wall. And she says to two of her teller friends on this side and two of her teller friends on this side. Look, he's going to teach us the wall. And so I said, here's how you do it. You put one hand like this, the other hand like this. And it dawns on me in that moment. I look up at the camera in the bank and I have all of the tellers' hands up. And all of a sudden I picture a SWAT team come flying in and taking me away.
So, and the other time, the laughter checks then, did they, what was that one about?
Yeah, so
a quick interlude for you. I hope you're enjoying today's interview and getting lots of knowledge when it comes to laughter and laughter yoga. Now, if you want to find out more about how laughter can benefit your life, why not subscribe to my channel below and press that little notification bell and get a notification anytime a new video comes out. Now, on with the interview.
So then I'm coming in, with more of like the laughter, stress relief, staff stress relief type of checks, right? Oh, what do you do? And I say, well, I share with people how to bring more laughter and joy into their lives. And so she goes, so you just make people happy? And I go, yeah. She goes, and that's your job? And I go, yep. She goes, that's a great job. And it's funny that sometimes it takes people to say that and you realize, even though you knew it somewhere inside you, you go, I do have a great job. That is awesome. There are people who hate their job from the second they start, whenever they start, to when they finish. They can't stand it. And I have to admit, I was like that. When I was in my 20s, there was a job I really didn't like. And I remember my girlfriend at the time saying, how was work? I'm like, work was work. Don't ask me about it. I mean, I really was.
It's so true. So you used to work, you had a proper job. I can't believe I just said proper job. It's like...
Well, I'm used to that. I mean, people, when they see me doing performing arts, they're like, so what do you do for your real job? And so I have been doing what I'm doing now, which is, if you look at what I've been doing for the past 38 years, what I've been doing is finding a way to make a living doing what I love, whatever that is at the time. And now I'm at a point where it's all mixed together. The mime, the dance training, the theater, the improv, the mindfulness meditation, the Tai Chi, Qigong, even the yoga, pranayama, and laughter yoga. It's all mixing together in a way. And what's great is that I have in my mind probably 1 million exercises, right? So when I do a staff stress relief, they'll say, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do this? And I said, I'm going to come in. And even on Zoom, I can sense the energy. And so I'll pull out one of the exercises. Maybe we'll start with breathing today. Oh, they're having a hard time with that. We'll shift to this direction. And I just pick and choose and create and develop right on the spot what's needed for that group.
And that makes you a master of your craft.
I'm getting there.
You are, that, which is fine, but it's a skill. That is a skill, Robert, in itself. Anyone that just be able to ad lib and just go, right, okay, which mood do I need to take? Sense the energy. I used to DJ in clubs, and it was the same. You'd put a record on, you think, okay, and you get a few people dancing. You're like, okay, let's go that way, and then the floor would empty, and just like, right, let's get back to over there again.
That's right. But I like that. There's a part of my brain that absolutely loves those little adjustments and sensing energy, and also dual energy, which you'll get a lot in laughter yoga. Half the group will totally love it, and the other half is like, this is weird. I don't feel like doing this. And it feels like you're riding two horses. And how to be able to serve both without being dragged down by one, it's a balancing act.
So I've got a good question for you here then. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you manage? Okay. So we're doing obviously more Zoom sessions now. You've got a screen of people because you've been booked to do something in an office, possibly, okay, and you've got a couple of people that are just sat in the corner just like that. How do you manage not to look at them and focus on the laughing people at the top?
Well, you know, it's natural for the human brain to notice what's not right, or what's uncomfortable, or what you don't like, or what you wish wasn't happening.
Okay.
And for me, more of a distraction, instead of the person with their head in their hand, is the person who's, you know, doing a bunch of things and answering somebody and doing this and, you know, like looking in occasionally, but you know, it's so active that your eye is like,
I've got sticky notes and I haven't used them yet, but I think these would be perfect. Just to, you know, when you got the odd bottle, you could just put them over that one.
Yeah. The other thing that I do, and this is probably, there's two things. One is I really gravitate and highlight in my mind the ones who are laughing and going for it, not without denying the other ones, though. I mean, I'll go with the ones that are really going for it, and then I'll realize I have to back off a little or go in a slightly different direction for these folks that may like the breathing more than they like the laughing, you know, to mix it up. But also from having done so many YouTube videos where I'm looking into the camera and I'm sending love and light and energy and joy, and I don't quite know who's receiving it. And sometimes I'm just giving it to people that I know will be receiving it in the future. Sometimes it's just one person that I'm thinking of, like a friend of mine. I'm like, hey, did you know about this? And I just picture them receiving what I'm doing. So that's what I do. I think the harder ones like that, the Zoom ones where you can't see anyone. And in my mind, I'm like, why didn't you just, some people book me for a video, like I create the video, they buy the video for 2 weeks or whatever, and they use it for 2 weeks and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And in my mind, when they're having a live Zoom and no one's on, I'm like, well, why even, why not watch a video? I mean,
it's
I
crazy.
can read you.
it's exactly, and it's just like being able to read the audience, and that's definitely, I'm sure, one thing I know I'm struggling with. But like, I can't wait to just get in amongst people again and just
Oh yeah.
And I miss the carpet. And just that last bit where, you know, that was the bit that really stuck in my mind back in when I discovered it, was just that when you just couldn't stop laughing, and you just like the ripple, and then when you run the sessions and in person, and you sat there at the end and you're just watching it, and you know that it's going to calm down and it'll go quiet, and you know it's just going to go again, and you're just sitting there just going,
oh yeah, the waves.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it will be amazing. You know what's funny, because many people are thinking that, is this going to last forever? You know, because now we're used to it a little bit, and so the doomsday part of your brain is like, okay, this is for, and you can't even picture what it's going to be like. But I actively visualize quite often, and even in a lot of my sessions, I'll do something like this. I'll say, okay, this is the future now. Now imagine you're in the future, you're walking along, you're taking a little walk, you feel the sunshine in your face, nice breeze, you see your friend, hey, how's it going? We have no mask because this is the future, man. And you smile, you see their smile, you give them a handshake, how's it going? Yeah, oh, same here. Oh, you think so? Whatever, bye, high five. For someone you really know well, you'll be able to hug them. I mean, this will happen again, friends. And so I just do that. And someone said, wow, you know, I even did that in a mindfulness class, where mindfulness is about being here in the present moment. I go, how do you like that? Your mindfulness teacher took you into the future.
That's amazing. And you know, Robert, I can see as well the way you use the camera is amazing. It's really like, you just staring down the lens is so important when you're when we're doing what we're doing. But ultimately, I suppose if you're listening to this and you are doing YouTube videos, I think a couple of tips you definitely said there. Look down the lens and pretend you're talking to somebody that you know, basically a friend. I think are really, really important, because
Yes.
it just helps massively, doesn't it?
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing with Zoom, because at first when I started, because I'll be honest, I don't think I heard of Zoom before the pandemic. I wasn't using it. In the back of my mind for the past 2 or 3 years, I was thinking I would like to teach online. Because there are people in many different countries that keep begging me to come to their country, and I just, for some reason, can't get there. And now that I'm on Zoom, I'm able to Zoom with everyone that wants to, and it's really great.
Hmm.
But at first I was hyper focusing on just that dot. And then I realized if I were in a real class, I wouldn't be looking in someone's eyes the whole time.
No.
I'd look in their eyes and then I'd think and ponder, and I'd be talking about something and then come back, which is actually much better for Zoom fatigue, is to not be focused on that thing all the time.
Yeah.
And we're getting into a different subject, but when I do Zooms, like right now, I'm in our living room, and there's 2 big windows there and another window on the side. I have the curtain way up. Everything's wide open. There's a huge tree in front. And so when we're talking, I might just look up like that, and I'm aware of the whole room. I'm aware of what's outside and here, and I don't feel fatigued after. I do 2-day trainings.
Wow.
I teach 2-day trainings, and I don't feel tired after. The first time I did, the first day, and then I figured it out.
Do you do the teacher training as well, or is it just leader training you do?
I just do the 2-day leader training at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it. I have to admit, I was one of those people who, before the pandemic, there are certain people who were doing online leader trainings, even though Dr. Kataria said you couldn't do them. And I was in the boat of, you need to be in person. You need to be eye to eye. You need to feel the energy in order to learn it. But then when the pandemic came and there's no other way to do it, I did my first one and I thought, this is great. Some of the best teaching moments in my life have been happening on Zoom. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm so comfortable, I'm home, but some of the most profound teaching moments, the direct transmission or connection between me and certain groups that I'm working with, have been on Zoom.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you stand up. I can see you stand up as well, which is also really, really important.
I am standing up because I sit down so much. So much of what I do is on the computer. Sitting down or on the phone, uploading this and editing that. So any chance I get, even in an interview, we're like, why are you standing up?
It's just easier, isn't it? It's more flowing and just...
Yeah, because it can move and flow and not be stuck. Now I realized that we've been doing a lot of talking without any laughing, and the laughter yoga folks are like, I thought you guys were laughter people. That's why I checked in. So this one's for you. Ready? 1, 2. You know what to do.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that was my next question is, can you do 2 exercises just for the laughter folk, for people that don't do laughter as well, that are listening in their car, just something that they can...
Sure. Here's what I'd like to do. Say the first word that comes to your mind.
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay. So this is going to be yellow laughter. We're going to start with bananas. Ready? Next thing that popped in my mind from your single word yellow is yellow submarine. We all laugh in a yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. We all laugh in a yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. Anything is possible
Or custard.
Yes, that's right, custard. Yellow sunshine. That's my impression of sunrise. People listening can't hear it, but my bald head just arose in the morning. Which is a good tip for laughter folks, because especially when you're first starting off, what happens is you get in a groove and you get doing some of the laughter exercises that you love, that work well, and you do them over and over. And if people are coming to your club, they're like, okay, how about something new? And so sometimes what I've done is just see something in the room, and whatever I see, I'll improvise on that and then expand on that. And bringing the mime to laughter yoga is making a little story about something, not just having an idea, but what came before that, what comes after it, and mime exaggerates things. That's why things are funny. So even with something like milkshake laughter, right? When you bring the mime to it, feel the weight of the liquid that's in here, right? And feel it shifting from heavy to lighter, 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 heavy, 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 light, 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 light. And you can do that with your laughter, huh? And when you do the part where it's throw it over your shoulder, I usually do it instead of throwing it over the shoulder, that you miss your mouth for some reason. And what you just added there, like, oh, you got a little on you. The part where we do a little food fight, and throw it towards each other, right? I want you to really exaggerate. Watch this. We're going to throw it, and you receive. And then you laugh over spilt milk. There's an old expression, don't cry over spilt milk. So we can laugh over it. It's your brand new shirt. You absolutely love it. You've been wanting the shirt for 4 years. It just came in the mail. And the birthday. See, there are all these levels. I mean, you can't just sit and laugh. And to me, there are times when I just do laughter meditation, just sit and laugh. But the benefits that I feel the most, if you want to talk about your endorphins releasing, serotonin, lowering the cortisol level, when I feel the maximum is doing this. Playing, exaggerating, adding my mime to it. If I'm doing Tarzan swing, I'm really swinging, and really feeling what it's like to do that, and being creative and spontaneous. And my brain's like, oh yeah, I could do that, but also this. There's just so much fun.
Oh, it's amazing, Robert. You are amazing. I love it. And I've come onto your mime course, I suppose.
The Saturday series. Yeah.
And anyone that's listening to this or watching and you've not been on it, you should do it, because it's amazing. And the thing you said about with the red hat, and it was just like using the red hat. And that's starting. I'm starting to use it. I am starting like the pulling, like all of the the extra, and throwing the ball, and we just play, and I love that playful. I love the playfulness of it, because I'm 44 and I like playing like a 5-year-old. I love it because
oh, me too. I'm 58, and so the playfulness, and also the power of your own mind, right? Because I remember back when you could do live presentations, I got up at 3:30 in the morning, left at 4 a.m., drove 5 hours, did 5 shows, drove 5 hours home. And I was walking up the steps to my house and I'm going, I'm walking like an old man. I could just as easily walk like a 5-year-old. And so then I just pretended I was 5 and I, just like, I can run up the steps, look, like that.
Yeah.
It took that old age out of my body.
It's magical. And to look at you, Robert, you don't look that old. You don't look 50, 58, you said, didn't you?
Yeah. 58.
Your persona is youth. And it's
well, thank you so much.
Magical.
I'm going to be 59 on December 13th, if anyone's listening.
Now, isn't it? You weren't born on a Friday by any chance, were you?
I don't believe I was. I think they would have teased me about that as a kid, but
See,
no.
I was. Friday 13th of February. My mum tried to keep me in till Valentine's Day, and I didn't want.
Wow.
I just kept...
So close, so close, and you're like, oh!
I could have been Valentino. That could have been my name.
That's right. That's right.
It suits me, Valentino. I think.
That's right. I was born on Valentine's Day. I know. That's right.
Oh, fantastic. So, Robert, we're going to have to wrap this up. Unfortunately, I could just keep doing this all day. But
I'd really love to stay, but I gotta go.
So, where can listeners find and viewers find you? Where's the playground that you're most active?
Well, here are 2 places. One is my YouTube channel, which I don't know if there's a way that we could put up here somewhere, or you could put it up
in the show
notes.
Yeah.
I'll send you some links. The other thing is, if you go to my website, robertrivest.com, and you hover over video, a lot of my videos are all categorized. See, on YouTube, it's just whatever one I make, it's up there, and you see them all. But here you can go and look, I want to see Robert do mime. Okay, so there's the mime section, there's the comic speech section, there's the laughter yoga. I have over 50 videos you could laugh along with me. And I have people in about 20 countries around the world that do that every day. Nice. And then there's some mindfulness. I have over 15 mindfulness videos. And, so they're all in a category. It's a lot easier to find what you want on robertrivest.com.
Fantastic. So final question then, final thought. What 3 things bring you joy?
Wow. The first, many things do, but the first thing I'm thinking of is the waking up in the morning. Waking up in the morning and knowing that I'm alive brings me tremendous joy. And here's something that people may sound surprising. Breathing in and out through my nose, noticing and feeling the sensation of the in-breath and out-breath. I've done it so much that when I do it and tune in, it really brings me tremendous joy. And the third is transforming a blue mood. I may be really feeling down, and I make a funny video, a laughter video, or even and I share it with the world, and that feeling of this may help someone else brings me tremendous joy.
Fantastic. Robert, I haven't even got my hat on. I take it off to you. I hope this isn't going to be the only time we talk, because I feel that we could go many other places with these conversations. And I do really, really look forward to meeting you in person, just to see how tall you are.
I'm 5'8".
Oh, I'm 5'10", so they'd be nearly about the same height.
I've been looking up to you.
Perfect. Cheers, Robert. Thank you.
Peace.